Rising global population and increasing purchasing power is driving demand for protein. And this is expected to be a positive look for the poultry industry, despite the economic standing as of today, as the demand for these products remain high. It's Market Insights again, where we talk about market trend, stock and currency market. I am Grace Komolafe, your host. Today we shall be looking at a very key industry here in Nigeria, and the conversation will be centered around poultry industry, prospect, opportunity, and challenges. Of course, I have a guest who will be joining me via Zoom. At the moment, I think we'll just take a short break. When we come back, I'll be introducing our guest to you in a brief. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The National Theatre, Igomu, built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, Festac, in 1977. The theatre holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artworks of a legendary contemporary Nigerian artist, stained glass walls by Yusuf Grillo, sculptures and murals by Lamidi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged Festac 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Expert Stroll, a Bulgarian company mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, the building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000 seats, a collapsible stage that can be quickly rebuilt, a conference hall with 1,600 seats, 2 large exhibition halls, and 2 cinemas with 800 seats each. The theatre complex has a dressing room for artists, a garage, offices, coffee bars, and a buffet. It has indoor TV and radio systems, as well as booths with facilities for simultaneous translation of languages and hectares of lush green lawn around. The majestic structure sits in Igomu like a quiet mountain, mesmerizing visitors and passers-by. The National Theatre, Souk Enlightenment.
My name is Olatunji Shoti Miri. I'm a performing artist and, television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souk News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souk News. If you're not watching Souk News, I pity you, but keep watching Souk News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timida Kolo and you're watching Souk News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souk News. Guys, keep watching Souk News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souk News is your station.
Welcome back, and you are on to Market Insight. Once again, my name is Grace Komolafe. Today we'll be focusing on poultry business, yes, and we'll be speaking with a doctor of veterinary medicine. He will be joining us online, and he is no other than Dr. J.B. Ibrahim, the CEO of Grassroots Farmers and Agro-Allied Researchers Association, MD Work and Eat Nigeria Limited. I think I love that part, Work and Eat Nigeria Limited. You know, there is this part of the scripture that says, he that doesn't work does not eat. Okay, so I think I love that part. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. J.B. Ibrahim. If you can hear me, good morning. The show. Kindly unmute your mic. Kindly unmute your device if you can hear me. Okay, Dr. J.B., could you please unmute your device? We want to look at poultry business, speaking to challenges, looking at opportunities, and of course, prospects for this industry. I want to agree, I don't know, you might not agree with me, it's my opinion that this industry is a very large one, trust me, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. You know, you have all sort of, proteins coming from this department. Speaking for some key ones that we are used to. Trust me, there are other ones we are not used to, that they are not so out there, but I'll speak for chicken. Almost everybody wants to eat chicken. Almost everybody gets to buy eggs. You understand? So a lot comes from this industry. You have the production, you have the stuff from the farming, you know. You have the farming, the production, the processing. Of course, you have this feeds, these animals to do some other things. And of course, you have feeds for the animals, you know. So we want Dr. J.B. to help us break down some details about the industry to see how it's thriving, how it's faring. Are there actually challenges that they are facing, despite the fact that there are rising demands? Like everybody wants to eat chicken. I said that earlier. Everybody wants to use eggs for one thing or the other, eggs, nug, and all of that. You understand? And some other things you can think of. Milk, yes, you know, all of that put together. But then, I want to tell you that there is basically no industry without its challenges. Basically, no activities without one issue or the other. Yes, and that is why I want to speak to Dr. J.B. I want to believe he's available. He's with us now. Dr. J.B., it's good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me now? All right, okay, so I'd like you to just, let's go straight to the point. Yes, let's go straight to business. What is the state of poultry industry as of today in Nigeria?
Well, poultry industry, as we have earlier highlighted, is one of the fast-growing industry in the country, not only in Nigeria, but even in the African country. Is one of the fast-growing industry, and even in the world at large. And so in Nigeria, actually the state of poultry industry, as I have said, is growing, but we needed something higher than that, because the demand of the poultry product all over the country and beyond is higher. And so what we are producing at present to actually meet up the demand is nothing to be compared. And so the state of the poultry industry in Nigeria as a growing industry is still far below expectation compared to the population of Nigeria and the demand of the poultry product as one of the largest population or country in Africa.
Right. Thank you very much. Economic-wise, how well would you say this industry has contributed to the nation's GDP? Yes, it's still growing, I agree, but I mean, how can you measure its contribution so far?
The contribution of poultry industry in the GDP of Nigeria was enormous. Like I've said, that it's a growing industry in the country. We know that it contributes a lot to the gross domestic product, in that a lot of people are keen into it. And we can see that from normal 20% increase in the GDP, is now growing higher than that. So Nigerian GDP in line with poultry production is we are growing, but we are not yet into where we are supposed to be. But by the grace of God, we are growing and we will get there very, very soon.
All right, thank you. So let's look at preferences. You know, I spoke earlier about people rushing after chicken and eggs. You know, meanwhile we have other things in this industry. So what do you think is the cutting edge for having people wanting to go for chicken rather than other, you know, animals?
Okay, you see, the cutting edge there is that people prefer going to poultry production simply because it is a business that if you have a little money, you can start up with it. And it's easy to manage, so to say, without any much stress. You don't need any more capital as such to start up with. You can start as little as you are. You can start as little as 50 chicken, and then you keep on growing into it to the point that you can even have a larger farm that will run in thousands. And so the people, the cutting edge there is that people are actually going into it because of its prospect, because of its future growth, because of how we perceive and then we foresee that this country, I mean, the industry will actually grow in few time to come. And so people needed to key into it, and it's going to be wonderful in few times to come.
All right, thank you. Let's move to the next one, and that has to do with job creation. You know, the issue of unemployment all over, it's something that keeps increasing. And for some people, they want to believe it just had to do with white-collar job, right? Of course, we have some of those poultry produce that in a way, you find them within the confine of white-collar job. You suit up, you put in your tie, you go to the office to put some things together. Meanwhile, you have them put together from the farm, right? So talking about job creation, how well would you say this industry has ever impacted? You know, I want to say again, it's a very important industry and is a wide one. It's such that everybody needs. So as seeing that it's something big, that we can't do without. We want to see how we measure the amount of, you know, job opportunities that are available there. So can you speak to this, please?
Yes, the poultry industry has a great potential of job creation for all over the country. For instance, where I'm coming from in the north here, you discover that there are quite a lot of people haven't tried one work or business or the other. The only thing that they bounce back to is poultry work. And virtually in every 10 families, you will see 2, 3, 4, even up to 5 keeping birds. We call it backyard poultry. And it all starts by that. And that's how other people grow into a larger industry. So it has a great potential of job creation, because when you started, it keeps you busy. And before you know what is happening, you started with 50, next time you go with 100, next time 200, and by, because there are enough spaces in the north, especially where we are coming from. So you discover that with those spaces, people utilize it, and then they get into the business, and it's yielding result. And so some people that have started, that is how I started a little bit, and I grow to a certain length now. And not only that I'm the one that is there there are other people that have been employed as well. And so it has a potential of job creation because people are keen into it and people are making profit out of it. Seriously, they are making living out of it. I know of some families that are into this kind of thing, know that they are just doing it for fun. They are actually doing it as a business. Some, they resign from their work to face this business squarely. And today they are living well, just like any person that is working in an office and then sitting under AC. So it's paying a lot for people. And so that is my call to other people also, that they should key into it. Why? Because the demand is there. The market is somehow there as well. And so the resources, so to say, is still available as for now. And so people can key into this and they will get a better life out of it.
Oh, that's good to know. It's good to know that the industry is thriving. You're making profits. Yeah. Demand keeps coming, like I mentioned earlier, is a vast one. So, but then if there is profit in the industry, you do well with the business, the market is there, the demand is there, then why the agitation for 50% of farmers, poultry farmers, wanting to shut down? Because I got a report that 50% of poultry farmers are agitating, they are looking at shutting down. I mean, if there is profit and every other thing is doing well, why do they want to shut down?
Okay, now the reason for shutting down is that it's a business that you need a technical knowledge. You need some training to manage it very well. And so for those that are shutting it down, perhaps if they don't have the technical knowledge, one. Number two, if there is an outbreak of disease, it leads to shutting down of the industry. Then number three, if there is economic challenges in the country, you discover that people can no longer afford what they are supposed to do, it will lead to the shutting down of the industry. Then another point again is that, you see, the cost of things in the market today is high. You talk of drugs, you talk of day old, the chicken itself. Like we used to buy chicken sometimes back, you have your 100 naira, you buy one chicken. But one chicken now, a day old, is around 600-700 naira. And so it's not everybody that can afford it. That is one aspect. When we now come to the aspect of drugs and then the management. And so there are so many factors that actually contribute to the shutting down of the industry for others. But as well, that does not mean that the industry is not thriving. It's thriving, but because of one challenges or the other. Among those people that are shutting it down, there's need to even find out what actually is the problem. You will discover that it's not, they will come up with their own challenges and tell you that this is what is there, this is what is there. And some people as well, they may be having the industry, they may be doing well in the industry, and then for one reason or the other, maybe they are trying to look for something higher than that. They may quit the industry. If, for instance, now I'm a MD of a certain district and I make little money or much money there, and I want to join politics. You see, I can keep that one aside. If the politics does not favor me, and it will equally affect my business. That is exactly what is there. So that does not mean that because of the shutting down of this, it does not mean that the industry is not thriving. It's actually thriving, and it stands out to be one of the ways of giving employment and a way of livelihood and average to everybody in Nigeria.
That's great. That's great, I must say. Good to know. So let's look at importation. You know, doing my research, I realized that a lot of farmers get to import their feeds, you know, and for me, I begin to ask, why not encourage homemade feeds? I don't know, are you in line with this? Do you agree with this, having that You have your farmers get their feeds from here rather than, getting abroad. Of course, I wouldn't say 100% all of them are being imported, but what is the drive? How much effort are you putting into encouraging, farmers to get their feeds from Nigeria, that is producing themselves?
Actually, most of the feed that we are consuming in Nigeria today, most of them are produced in Nigeria. Most of them. Because some of those industries that you are thinking that they are bringing it outside, they brought their industry in Nigeria here now. They are producing in Nigeria. We talk of Chukun feed. They are produced in Kaduna. You talk of Vital feed. They are produced in Jos. And so many of them like that are being produced in the country. So some of the things that they used to bring them outside are some of the premise. So those are the things that are there. But the major raw material and the production itself is taking place in Nigeria. Gone are the days whereby people import feed. Very few people this day import feed, because most of the feed that we are consuming in Nigeria, the poultry feed, is being produced in Nigeria, just like I've given you the example of few. So the farmers and the industry in Nigeria, actually, they produce most of their feed in Nigeria today. And so the opinion that people import feed, I did not know much about that. Well, we will not actually throw it away, that of the fact that they don't produce, they don't import feed. Yes, there are few ones that maybe because they're not confident in what is going on in Nigeria, and then they prefer the one that they will bring in somewhere, and that's why they are doing it. Yes, there are few ones, but majority of the feed that we consume in Nigeria are produced in Nigeria today. Just like I've given you some few examples, a lot of them are being produced, except those premix and major other things that you add up to the feed that they bring it outside the country.
All right. Okay, so in that case, I would like to find out, why the industry has been impacted by the dollar rates. It's fluctuating, it goes up, it comes down today. And you see everybody doing business in Nigeria, not everybody, let me take it this way, majority doing business in Nigeria, they bank on the fact that dollar is not stable. And everybody says, oh, dollar is expensive, dollar is rising, and because of that, my business is this, and all of that being affected by, inflation. So I don't know if most of the feeds are gotten from Nigeria. How come this industry is also being impacted by dollars?
Good. There was a time that I went to buy carrot. We produce carrot in Nigeria. And then the man said the dollar has increased. And so he increased his own price. What has producing carrot in Nigeria has to do with dollar? So that is the most of the mentality that we have. But aside that, you discover that if you are producing one of the major ingredients of the feed is maize. Now, production of maize, what actually causes that one that raises to the increase of the price is number one, this maize that we are producing. Number one, we use chemical. And we don't produce some of those chemicals in Nigeria. Chemical for farming, such as herbicides, insecticides. So if you were to use that one to produce your maize, of course you must sell your maize high. And the person that will buy the maize to go and use it for poultry feed will add money on top of it. And where the whole story starts is from the chemical and some of the things that we use for the production of maize. For instance, now, if I want to produce a maize, you use a machine which is tractors. And if you were to acquire tractor, you have to go, we don't produce tractor in Nigeria here for now. We used to do it sometimes back, but no more now. Now, if you are buying it outside and you are bringing it, so it virtually affects whatever you will do with that tractor. And so if it affects the farmer, because you brought into your tractor very costly, and then you are trying to use it to gain something out of it, of course, it will go a long way because of that increase in dollars that you bought it, and so many of them like that. You talk of spare part, you talk of other things. All those things constitute what will bring it the rise of the price of this thing. And so that is the problem that we are facing in the industry. It's not because we are not importing this thing, or we are importing this thing or feed itself. No, even the local one that we are producing, there is a link between what transpires from the word go to where it is now. That's where we always have the increase of the price. So it's not because they are importing feed from outside the country, because some of the things, the chain that undergoes before will result to the production of that feed. That's what actually gives us that type of price.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marse Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events, such as the Independence Day in 1960, when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, Souk Enlightenment.
My name is Veronica Nkechi Eze.
Charles Abana.
My name is Professor Martins Emeje.
Professor Sylvester Odion Akaine.
Keep
Watching Souk
News TV.
The best news channel online.
It's elevating, it's enlightening, it's educating.
Muhammad Ali found his root in Africa. Rumble in the jungle. I swear the king is humble. Jesse Jackson, O.J. Simpson, this is Black history. Andrew Young visit Africa in the late 60s. Legend, Bob Marley make the life different. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are big names. They fought for Black Americans in the old days. We need same revolution in our own ways. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Mr. Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre and Eddie Murphy. American prosperity ain't complete with African poverty. It's legendary Idris Abdul Karim, and you are on to Soap News. You don't touch that dial.
All right, apologies. It's still market. And I remain Grace Komalafe. We've been having a conversation with Dr. Jebi Ibrahim, who have been shedding light on issues around poultry business. Yes, he has spoken to some of the financial activities, what is impacting the rise of prices on some of the products. Of course, he has mentioned that, and also mentioned how the industry has been impacting Nigeria's economy. Well, I would say again, because it's what I see every day, this industry is a very big one, and it will be nice that we can come together and make it thrive the more. I mean, when you talk about job creation, it's not just about getting the animals ready, not just that. You have other aspects, producing. So I'll take it from, you have the farmers there doing the job, you have the processors, you have feed suppliers, all of them are there, and this is big. So you can look at it from each of these departments, even at a very small scale. Either you like it or yes, you have one or two persons doing something different, from each other. Of course, you get to have some people who are workaholic. They get to know everything. They can do the farming itself. They can do the processing. They can get the feeds ready. They can do all of that. But at the same time, for someone that is an employer of labor, or who is really interested, who is key in, adding value to the nation, he or she would go for that to say, oh, let me get more hands. Let me employ people for different departments to do different things. And of course, this will increase, and it will reduce the level of unemployment and increase job creation in Nigeria. Yes, I'm hoping that Dr. Jebi Ibrahim would be able to join us shortly. Meanwhile, while we wait for him, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, I want to believe he will be available, and we'll take the last part of the program for today. Please stay with us.
My name is Ron Gangechi Eze.
Charles Abana.
My name is Professor Martins Emeje.
Professor Sylvester Odion Akaine.
Keep
Watching
News TV.
The best news channel online.
It's elevating, it's enlightening, it's educating.
Muhammad Ali found this root in Africa. Rumble in the jungle. I swear the king is humble. Jesse Jackson, O.J. Simpson, this is Black history. Andrew Young visit Africa in the late 60s. Legend, Bob Marley make the life different. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are big names. They fought for Black Americans in the old days. We need same revolution in our own ways. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Mr. Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre and Eddie Murphy. American prosperity ain't complete with African poverty. It's legendary Idris Abdul Karim, and you are on to Soap News. You don't touch that dial.
Thank you for joining us. It's still Market Insight. Yes, I believe Dr. Ibrahim is now available. Dr. Ibrahim, thank you for staying hanging out there. All right, so we quickly go to the next question. So there is this saying, charity begins at home. So you know, even when you make feeds from Nigeria, you do a lot of things, there is a need for you to begin to look at solutions in other areas where the industry is facing challenges. And that's why I said charity begins at home. Before you employ someone to help you solve the problems, I think you should also be looking at, oh, what do I do? How do we get, you know, to solve this problem? So I want to ask that, in what way is the industry expanding its solution mechanism?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So one of the, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
You can hear me? Okay. So you can hear me?
All right, thank you. So I just asked,
now?
what are the ways the industry is expanding its solution mechanism?
One of the ways the industry is expanding its solution mechanism is in the area of reporting of some diseases or emerging diseases to the government. Any emerging diseases of the poultry that is coming up or that affect the farmers or the industry on its own, they will take up that challenges and channel that to the government of the federation so that challenges will be tackled immediately. That is one aspect. The other aspect is the association, the poultry industry, coming together and then meeting the federal government of Nigeria also, tabling their needs, their challenges onto them, that in area of price, in area of patronage, how government can come in and then also encourage people and then encourage these farmers to go into massive production. Another thing again is for government or the organization will channel the issue of funding to government and also NGOs that are into grants to actually help these farmers to grow their industry very well. Another way also that the industry is where to tackle their challenges is in the area of marketing. Marketing whereby the people will be aware, they create awareness to
Okay, all right, so I think we're having H's, and I just have to take it from here. Of course, we are already trying to wrap up. It's just to take one or two more questions before we leave. If Dr. Ibrahim is unable to join us, of course, in no time, we'll just call it a wrap. He has made a lot of points. You know, talking about collaborating with government, I would say it's a key thing. It's one area that I myself would want to, you know, encourage farmers and even the government to really, you know, invest into. Really push for. You know, farmers should always look for collaboration, because I can tell you that, if you want to do it at a very big scale, you know, it's not something you just want to pick on little cash and you say, oh, it's done. If you really want to go into this business with the way the industry is rising, with the way the demand is increasing, I think collaboration is really important. You need it. If you don't have it, you seek for government funding, government support, you know, and all of that. He mentioned grants. Of course, I would have asked him that, how well is that forthcoming? You know, we've got to see situation or hear of people saying, oh, there are grants for farmers, but it actually didn't reach the very people that are supposed to get this grant. So I would have loved to ask him how far can he measure this impact of grants, how far is it going? But it's all good at this point. I think we'll be calling it a wrap, and until Monday, we'll be coming your way again on Market Insights. Stay tuned to Souk News for other details, other information that will be coming your way. And of course, by 12 p.m., news updates will be up. I am Grace Komalafe. See you some other time on Market Insight. Bye-bye.